when we talk about the five aggregates, yeah, and the mere I being labeled in dependence upon the five aggregates, okay, then the mere I of this life, like in my case, would be children, or, you know, in your case, it would be whatever your name is, and it could also be, you know, what a person, a doctor, a lawyer, you know, somebody who's doing this, somebody who's doing that, any of the wide varieties of persons, even cats, bugs, those are all persons in that context that are merely labeled depending on those particular five aggregates. At the time of death, those particular five aggregates do not continue on to the next life, in the sense that, for example, this life we have five human aggregates. Let's say you're born as a deva in the next life. Your human aggregates do not become deva aggregates. You shed the human aggregates, you adopt the deva aggregates, and then the deva aggregates becomes the basis of imputation for the future life person, or the person in that particular next life. Okay? So you do leave behind the five aggregates at the time of death. However, there is a continuity of the aggregates, in the sense that although these five aggregates are left behind, you adopt five new aggregates in the next life, and there is a continuity between them. In other words, you know, it's not when you die that everything totally ceases and there's nothing that exists after death, and then something totally new and unrelated appears, because there has to be this continuity, because there's the carryover of the karma. There's the karma gets carried from one life to the next. Okay? So in terms of the aggregate of the I of this life, the I of this life ceases because it's dependent on the aggregates of this life. And in the next life, you get the I of the next life that's dependent on the aggregates of the next life. However, that's when we're talking about the specific I of each particular life that is merely labeled on that particular conglomeration or collection of aggregates. We can also talk about the general I, and the general I exists over all these different lifespans, okay? And so that's why we say there is the continuity of the person from one life to the next, because we can label I, you know, on this life and the next life and the future life, and there's a continuity there, okay? Yeah, but children, when she dies, yeah, stops, and whatever my new life is not children, because there's different aggregates, but it is a continuity of children. Okay? So it's very important here to distinguish between the general I that spans all the rebirths and the specific I that is there during each rebirth. Okay? Mm-hmm.
Does the aggregate of compositional factors, or conditioning factors, maybe call it, does that not include kind of like all the potential? I mean, could you think of that as being the aggregate that sort of carries all the undone, unseen, and things that
usually when they talk about that fourth aggregate, they put in a number of things that are not specifically consciousness. For example, the person itself is included in the fourth aggregate, and the karmic seeds are included in the fourth aggregate. But that's not, you know, when we're talking about the four aggregates that are the basis of designation of the I don't think we can, those things can't necessarily be included because the person can't be included in the basis of designation of the person. Okay? Yeah. Okay, so we talk about the 5 aggregates in many different contexts. One is the 5 aggregates that are the basis of designation of the person. Another is the 5 aggregates that simply means all impermanent things, that include all impermanent things. So when we're talking in that context of the 5 aggregates that include all impermanent things, then the karmic seeds, the person itself, and other things are put into the 4th aggregate.